in Thirsk, England, hanging about 5 feet off the floor, in the Thirsk Museum, is a chair called Busby's Stoop chair, or Dead Man's Chair. It's even known as the Chair of Death, according to whom's telling the story. And for good reason. This chair is thought to have led to the deaths of 70 people or more. Now that's very peculiar indeed. Welcome to Peculiar Occurrences. I am your host, Lilith Nova. Oh yeah, check out this shirt. An L for Lilith. I love it. The Chair of Death was the favorite chair of a stripper and con artist named Thomas Busby, who was convicted in 1702 for the murder of his father-in-law, Daniel Oddie, whom he supposedly strangled after sitting in his chair after an argument about Thomas's wife, Oddie's daughter Elizabeth. On the way to the gallows in 1702, he asked to stop by the pub and enjoy just one last drink. He sat in his favorite chair and enjoyed that drink. Then, as he was dragged from the pub just right across the street to where he would be hung, he was heard yelling a curse upon the chair, swearing that anyone who was to sit in his favorite chair would be haunted and would soon die a sudden and horrible death. This chair remained in the pub for centuries, and people were dared to sit in it. During World War II, airmen from a nearby base made this pub a hot spot, and the chair a hot seat. And people started to notice that the people that got dared to sit in it, and actually did, never returned from the war. In 1967, 2 Royal Air Force pilots sat in the chair, and while driving back, they crashed into a tree and died. A few years later, 2 bricklayers decided to try it. And that very afternoon, the one bricklayer that had actually sat in the chair fell to his death. The cursed chair has apparently killed every person who sat in it, in some dramatic way, no matter what. Some instances included a roofer who sat in it and died that very afternoon when the roof he was working on collapsed. And a cleaning woman stumbled into it while doing her job, and later that afternoon she died of a horrible brain aneurysm that she didn't even know that she had had and never had shown symptoms of. These reports lasted up through the 1970s. It is also said people that sat in this chair would receive horrible hauntings, taunting them about their deaths, messages in mirrors, whispers, screams, messages on the walls up until the point of their death. Eventually, the pub owner moved the chair into the basement, hoping that no one else would sit in it ever again. However, one day a delivery man was in the basement and sat in the chair. An hour later, he crashed his truck and died. After that death, the man asked the local museum if they would take it. And to ensure that no one else would ever sit in the chair again, the museum pinned the chair 5 feet up on the wall. And that is where it hangs until this very day. And although people are now safe from sitting in the chair, news stories about the chair come out all the time. One local was told about a driver that had picked up an airman. The airman asked to go to the bathroom, so they stopped at Busby Stoop Inn. While waiting, the driver sat in the chair. When the airman didn't return, the driver left without him. The angered airman had to make his own way back to the base. When he got back, the airman was so angry that he grabbed a brick and bashed in the driver's head, killing him. And a lot of automobile accidents from the 1970s have also been attributed to the death chair. But now it seems that since the museum has made it impossible for the chair to hurt anyone else, its killing days just may be over. And the site of execution just across from the pub, on the A61 and A167 crossroads, which is now a roundabout, is said to be haunted by Busby's ghost. That at times his apparition can be seen, or he can be heard cursing the chair. A lot of people believe this to be a very true story, though there is one clue that this could be folklore. At one point, a furniture historian examined the chair and found it to have machine-turned spindles, whereas 18th century chairs were built using a poleath. He dated the chair to have been made in 1840, 130 years after Busby's execution. So was there ever even really a real Busby's chair? Was it perhaps destroyed and replaced? Does Busby's curse live on in the new chair? Or could it all have just been one big publicity stunt to get patrons into the bar? I don't know. You decide. And let me know what you think about this peculiar occurrence down below in my comments. And while you're down there, check my description box for your peculiar occurrence merch. And don't forget to hit that like button if you want to see more of this kind of content. And share this out to all your peculiar friends. As well, if you're new here, please hit subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our peculiar squad. And hit that bell button, because if you don't, it's like you didn't even subscribe. And if you'd like to hang out with me in between all of this, come and join me on Twitter and Facebook. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for all things peculiar. Do 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 do.
Are you listening? Damn.